Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into something that's going to totally flip how you look at your daily chores, annoyances, and those little difficulties we all face. Instead of seeing them as huge burdens, what if we treated them as high-yield investments? Yeah, seriously, we're talking about the interest of inaction and how we can literally invest in our future peace. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's jump straight into this absolutely powerful opening thought from our source material. It sets up this brilliant financial metaphor about the true cost of just doing nothing. The more we delay doing the right things in life, the higher the price we pay for it later. I mean, it's so simple, right? But profoundly challenging. We usually think that putting something off is kind of just a victimless crime. Maybe it gives us momentary relief. But this text, it argues that procrastination actually carries a heavy, hidden fee. So I want to pose a critical question directly to you. What actually happens when we delay doing the right things? Think about your own daily habits for a second. You know, that workout you skipped, that super awkward conversation you've been avoiding, or that budget you just didn't set up this month. Are you really getting away with it? Or are you racking up these invisible fees that are going to come due when you least expect it? Well, we usually think of interest as, a monetary penalty on a credit card, or maybe a nice little bonus in a savings account. But the text redefines it completely. It says interest is the actual magnitude of suffering we endure later when we procrastinate on doing what's right. The interest isn't money here. It's life friction. It's stress. It's physical pain. It is actual, tangible suffering. Crazy way to look at it, right? Let's walk through the clear progression of how this actually works. Step 1, we delay doing the right thing. It's easy, right? It's comfortable in the moment. Step 2, we pay a higher price later, simply because the problem grew while we ignored it. But Step 3 is where it gets terrifying. The suffering compounds, exactly like a bank fixed deposit, or honestly worse, like a forgotten credit card bill. A small delay today isn't just a small problem tomorrow. It becomes an exponentially larger crisis down the road. Section 1, Controlling Inevitable Suffering. All right, to get back in the driver's seat, we first have to clear the air and acknowledge this foundational truth presented in the text. We cannot hide from suffering as life itself is suffering. Look, we have to deal in reality here, not toxic positivity. There is no magic formula to eliminate all pain from your life. Hardship is simply baked into the whole human experience. But, and this is a massive but, there is an empowering flip side. Yes, suffering is guaranteed. But the extent of that suffering is entirely controllable. Our reactions, and more importantly, our proactive preparations, put the control right back in our hands. Preparing ourselves for potential challenges helps us deal with uncontrollable circumstances so much more efficiently. We can't stop the storm from coming, but we can absolutely choose to build a stronger roof today. Which brings us to the ultimate contrast of our existence. On one hand, you've got the inevitable reality that life is suffering. But on the other hand, you have the controllable choice. You can purposefully choose your daily struggles right now to reduce that future compounded suffering. It's a strategic choice. You're basically picking your poison, but one acts as a vaccine and the other acts as a venom. Section 2, Investing in Mind and Body. The text uses this fantastic rhythmic motif, this idea to struggle now, to show us exactly what these investments look like. So let's start with a big one, the struggle to resist instant gratification. We all know it is incredibly hard to put down the phone and stop doom scrolling, or to ignore that random impulse buy. But the dividend for that struggle, it's sustainable happiness later. You're basically trading a cheap dopamine hit today for deep, enduring contentment tomorrow. Continuing that rhythm, we have the physical grind, the struggle to exercise daily. I mean, anyone who has forced themselves out of a warm bed for a freezing morning run knows this pain intimately. But the dividend payout is huge. You suffer less and age gracefully. The physical pain of a workout is literally an upfront investment that pays off by shielding you from the much, much greater pains of physical decline later on. And then there are the things that seem, well, almost mundane. The struggle to eat on time and sleep well. In our crazy busy modern lives, maintaining just basic diet and sleep schedules is genuinely difficult. But the text frames this as a massive insurance policy. The dividend here is avoiding the immense suffering that comes from preventable lifestyle diseases. It's daily maintenance, guys, to prevent a total system failure down the line. Now, this next investment is incredibly profound. The struggle to work on your passions and do the things that are deeply meaningful to you. Carving out time for your passion amidst a busy life is hard work. It's a real sacrifice. But the dividend is absolutely huge. You get to the end of the line and you have zero regrets. Dedicating time to what matters to you is a proactive struggle that entirely eliminates the heavy, unpayable toll of looking back and wishing you had tried. Section 3. Investing in external wealth. Now we're going to pivot outward and look at 3 profound social investments. Check this out. If you struggle now to contribute and make a positive impact, your dividend is a life of significance and respect. If you struggle to take full responsibility, meaning actually owning your mistakes instead of blaming everyone else, you gain actual control over your life later. And perhaps the hardest struggle of all, letting go of your ego and learning to forgive, the return on that investment, unconditional love. These are incredibly difficult daily struggles for sure, but the payouts are literally the very things that make life worth living. And of course, there is the most literal application of this financial metaphor, the daily struggle to save money. Saying no to an expense today often feels like deprivation, right? Like you're missing out. But you are literally paying your future self so that your dividend is a secured future, a financial fortress for when life's totally uncontrollable storms inevitably arrive. To wrap up the specific examples, the source applies this directly to parenting. The struggle to give tough love to your kids. It is absolutely agonizing for a parent to watch their child struggle with a task or face a disappointment when they could so easily just step in and fix it. But the dividend of that immediate discomfort is that those kids become independent, responsible, and way less entitled when they grow up. The short-term pain of discipline yields the long-term joy of raising truly capable adults. Section 4. The choice of struggle. Okay, so we've walked through the portfolios, and this brings us to the core thesis of the entire explainer. Become comfortable with daily struggles today, or pay the compounded interest of suffering tomorrow. The universe is going to charge you one way or another. That's just a fact. You must actively choose to get comfortable with the small, daily, productive struggles, or you're going to be handed an exorbitant, unpayable bill of suffering down the line. It really is your choice. And as we wrap things up today, I really want to reinforce the author's empowering concluding message. Suffering is inevitable, but we can surely reduce it by choosing to do certain right things early on. You are not a passive victim of the future. Actually, your proactive early choices fundamentally alter your future landscape for the better. You have the immense power to shrink your future suffering simply by tackling today's discomfort head-on. So I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. Which struggle will you choose today to invest in your future peace? Seriously, don't just close this explainer and move on with your day. Pick one thing right now. Is it the workout? Is it the savings account? Maybe it's letting go of your ego and an argument you're having. Embrace that struggle today, make that investment, and watch how it completely transforms your tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining me, and hey, happy investing.